Minivans have never been considered cool. They don't usually make it to anyone's wish list of dream cars. Not unless you're a 60-year-old grandmother who wants nothing more than to take a scenic road trip with the entire family. But if you think about how cool cars are meant to appeal to your emotions, would you really prioritize speed and handling over spending time with your loved ones? Maybe minivans deserve more credit. And looking at the Kia Carnival, it's not exactly devoid of that cool factor either. Maybe, just maybe, there doesn't even have to be a compromise. Minivans aren't exactly what you'd call head turners, except for the ones that would make you look away. But even if the Kia Carnival's been around for quite a while now, it's still quite the looker. The Carnival doesn't stand as tall as other vans, and it also gets a relatively longer hood, which I think gives it a sleeker and more appealing silhouette. At the front, you get projector headlamps and fog lamps. And for that added touch of class and road presence, you get LED positioning lamps. Along the side, you get these gorgeous 18-inch wheels that aren't overdone. The windows extend all the way to the D-pillar to give it a floating roofline. You also have this beltline that rises towards the end. And I think the elevation point on this one is exactly where it should be. The Carnival has horizontal tail lamps, which is a departure from the typical vertical affair usually seen on minivans. At the back, you get 960 liters of cargo space behind the third row, 2,220 liters behind the second row, and a whopping 4,022 behind the first row. Man, there's so much room back here that this thing can double as a cargo truck or maybe even a bathtub. And these may be bench-type seats that fold, but they're extremely comfortable. But kidding aside, what's really cool about this is the versatility and how neatly these seats can be tucked away. There are multiple configurations to suit your needs. Now clearly, these seats don't exist for the sole purpose of giving you additional seating capacity. Because sitting back here won't make you feel like you got the short end of the stick. It's actually quite comfortable in here, and as you can see, there's heaps of legroom and headroom. And these seats actually recline. Quite a fair bit. Now as far as amenities are concerned, you get air vents, map lights, and these neat sunshades. Plus, getting in and out is a breeze, and that's coming from someone who has grave difficulty tying his shoelaces. Now, if you're in the market for one of these, chances are you'll be sitting here most of the time. And man, you're in for a treat. As you can see, there's a lot of adjustability in terms of moving it forwards and backwards. You also get armrests on both sides, and these seats also recline to give you heaps of comfort. It'll make Manila traffic feel like a vacation. Now, rear seat passengers get additional treats such as their own climate controls. Yes, this has 3 climate control zones. And then you get the usual goodies such as air vents, map lights, charge ports, sunshades, and even a huge panoramic sunroof. Vans have always been about versatility, seating capacity, space, comfort, and storage. But I really like the fact that Kia didn't take style and class out of the equation, because this interior actually exudes a sense of luxury. You get soft touch materials where it counts, and leather seats. There's also a good mix of different textures to keep it from looking dull and boring. Other niceties include an electrochromic rear view mirror, a conversation mirror, and heaps of storage. You also get an 8-inch touchscreen, which may seem dated by today's standards, but using it is stupid simple. Despite the huge space here, they were able to get ergonomics right because everything remains well within reach. Through clever design, everything also feels extremely intuitive. Take these steering wheel functions for instance. There's a different motion for each of the functions. For example, you have this roller for the volume, and then a switch to skip track, and then buttons for your other functions such as mode and your telephone operation. And it's the same case with the cruise control. Everything's just so intuitive, which means you can operate almost all the functions here without taking your eyes off the road. And when you have your loved ones in tow, that is something I bet you'll really appreciate. But I guess the big question here is, does all this space and versatility come at the expense of good driving dynamics? Well, there's only one way to find out. van's primary objective is to be a people hauler. But does that mean that a driver's desires has to be left to wishful thinking? Absolutely not. Now, I completely understand that vans aren't built for straight line acceleration or going around the twisties at high speed. But this doesn't necessarily rob you of that excitement. Don't get me wrong, this isn't going to give you the same sensations as a Miata, because duh, this is a van. But under the hood lies Kia's 2.2-liter CRDI engine, which pumps out almost 200 horsepower and 441 Newton meters of torque. And that torque is available to you as early as 1,750 RPM. What that means is you'll always have power on demand, which makes overtaking a breeze, and more importantly, very predictable. Now, those torque figures also gives you the impression that you're driving something a lot lighter, and that really relieves the stress and fatigue associated with driving bigger vehicles. Now, aside from that, the steering ratio is also pretty responsive for a van. And together with the good visibility, it also makes you feel like you're driving something a lot smaller. But of course, vans shouldn't only cater to the driver. In fact, it also needs to make sure that all the passengers have a pleasant riding experience. And the Carnival does that in spades. Because the NVH in this thing is superb. It does a really good job in keeping the noise outside from creeping in. And then there's the riding comfort. And the suspension on this thing is really well dampened. You can go over potholes or uneven pavement and none of the motions will feel jarring. Now, if you're in the market for a 7-seater and it's a toss between this or a PPV, if you hold a high regard for comfort and space, you need to pick this, hands down. Prices for the Kia Carnival starts out at 1,995,000 pesos and goes all the way up to 2,395,000 pesos for this top-of-the-range 7-seater. It's also available as an 11-seater. Overall, the Kia Carnival ticks all the boxes. It provides space, comfort, and even good driving dynamics. Now, it's no mystery why vans remain to be a popular choice here in the Philippines. But what does make me wonder is why I don't see enough of these on our roads. Because when you pit this against the competition in terms of specs, features, and overall driving performance, it's still an extremely compelling choice.
Good day, everyone. Hi, I'm Philip Lance B. Javier, sales consultant of Kia Mandaluyong under AC Motors. Come and visit our showroom at Unit 5, 833 Sheridan Street, Greenfield District, Highway Hills, Mandaluyong City. For more inquiries, you may reach me at 0917-528-8203. Hoping to have future transaction with you. Thank you so much.